Welcome to Virtual Japan as we are here today for round number 6.
Oh, Pearson gets into the 95 of Folks. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona and away. Go for the first time. Nicholas Morcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Ricky Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Dom's, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now as we've got 3 wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Nice to go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
Smooth stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
Get ready to embark on a design journey like never before with Designer's Home Gallery, your premier destination for all things flooring. We're excited to announce our sponsorship of the J2ICS Endurance season, where innovation meets endurance on every stretch. Just like our curated collections, this season promises to push boundaries, combining style with resilience. Join us as we champion design excellence and fuel the endurance of racing. One lap at a time, nouglyfloors.com. Welcome back, race fans, to the J2ICS Endurance Series, sponsored by Designer's Home Gallery. We're in my backyard, my home track, Road Atlanta, the best track in the country, dare I say the world, that has RA as its abbreviation. As always, I'm your host, James East, with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Breathe the action, 1080p, 60 frames a second. As right now, drivers are getting lined up for our warm-up lap. And then we're going to put them back out on track for today's feature event. Let's run through the starting order. On pole, it's Dickinson, the number 1 machine. Bozak starting 2nd. Donovan starts 3rd. Joshua Spears starting 4th. Jason Miller Light starting 5th. Simply Steve starting 6th. Urko starting 7th, with Eat My Dust starting 8th. Bob Nova starting 9th. Prince Adam starting 10th. We've got Justin Wiley starting 11th. Gavin Ammerman, Garlic Dog starting 12th. Cycling it on back, Long Island T. Joe Albany starting 13th. Spring Flower starting 14th. Jason Winecki starting 15th. Paper Bags are 16th. Biker Pilot starting 17th. Garlic Dog starting 18th. Yo Mega starting 19th. Broccoli Motorsports starting 20th. And Dylan Meyer will round out the 21-car grid here today. As always, let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on. Drivers will frequently have the broadcast pulled up on a separate monitor or device, and if they don't, they just about always go back and watch this thing over again. A pretty stacked field out here tonight. Got Connor join us. He's Chia with Team Garlic Dog here tonight. As we're going to take a little bit more time following that iRacing safety car. And then we're going to unleash a frenzy here. It's going to be interesting turn 1 here. A lot of drivers kind of funneling into a tight little spot here. Heading through turns 10A, 10B here, Road Atlanta. And we're going to go down the hill. The iRacing safety car will come down, and we are about to be underway here. Green flag is out. We are here with the J2ICS Endurance Series, sponsored by Designers Home Gallery. Dickinson with a great start there. There's Bozak and Donovan trailing just behind. Into the S's here at Road Atlanta. You can see the two teammates nose to tail. Separated by about 0.6 of a second here. That's Bozak in second, Donovan in third. Now it is an hour-and-a-half long endurance race here tonight. And it's going to be interesting to see how the pit stops become a factor here. Heading back to Eat My Dust, the number 24 machine. Tucked in behind Mr. Miller Lite. And the number 9, as we're going to go side by side here into 10A. Who's going to have it on the brakes just behind them? You can see Urko and Prince Adam also going side by side in 10A. Looks like Eat My Dust is going to get through here. It's going to be his second position gain. Okay, let's go a little bit further back. Albany's Paper Bag battling here for the 13th position. Albany's the 0-2, Paper Bag the 8th. Paper Bag up 2 spots thus far so far this evening, so having a good run here. I'm not quite sure why Albany's nickname's not auto-propagating there. I think we got it there as he sits in the 12th place spot, under fire from both Spook Dubs and Paper Bag. This is a pretty tight 3-car battle here for 12th. Spook Dub's going to try and make something happen here against Long Island in a 10A, deep on the binders. Now, thankfully, it's been very clean racing. We haven't seen that much car-to-car contact thus far. But when you've got drivers that are running so close together here, eventually I think somebody's going to have a mishap. Spook taking another look at the inside line, this time into turn 1, backs out of it. And that is allowing Paper Bag sitting right in tow, looking for an opportunity here. Now, Dickinson still your race leader, 0.9 of a second up over Bozak. The teammate Donovan still sitting in third. We just got the report. Eat My Dust moving up into the 6th place spot. Number 24 has made his way around Miller Lite. So as is tradition, everywhere we point the camera here at the J2ICS Endurance Series, we've got great racing. You're watching about a 4-car battle for 6th. Eat My Dust, Urko, Miller Lite, Prince Adam, all in the fray here, coming out in the start-finish line stretch here at Road Atlanta. And going a little bit further back, I see something happening here. Long Island and Spook Dub still going at it. There's a big lunge up the inside by Spook. Doesn't quite have the charge up the hill he was looking for heading to the S's. And it seems like that's backing up the pace a little bit. You've got Paper Bag, Spring Flower right behind as well. And also looks like Bozak who's still lagging behind by about 3/4 of a second from Dickinson, has Donovan and Spears starting to close that gap behind him here. Now, the draft at Road Atlanta can be pretty potent on the backstretch. Allows these drivers to start kind of leapfrogging up a little bit. And I'm getting a report here from the tech side of the studio. Looks like the nickname's starting to work here in the broadcast booth. So that's an optimistic bit for us here today. Urko, Miller Lite, Prince Adam, a nice tidy pack, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Now, Urko was consistently one of the top 3 fastest drivers in the practice sessions this week. So we're expecting big, big things out of the 33 machine. Seems like he's kind of biding his time here right now. Qualified 7th, still running 7th out on circuit. And we've got a pass between teammates for second. Donovan has pushed the 128 up into the second place spot. Bozak falls back to third. And who's that lagging right behind Joshua Spears? And the number 84 Porsche is hunting for a podium position here. And I do see Penny Dickinson in the spectator area. Always great having her on board watching the show. And there's probably the tightest path we have out on circuit. Eat My Dust being chased by Urko, Miller Lite, Prince Adam. All in the fray here. Now, not seeing too many hard chargers as of yet. You've got Paperback sitting in 13th. And Garlic Dog sitting in 15th. Have both gained 3 positions thus far. But really haven't seen any big movers or shakers. Spook Dubs on the back foot right now. The number 58, he's down 7 spots from where he qualified. As Urko hops out of line behind Eat My Dust, it's going to be a battle of the brakes into 10A. I don't think Urko quite has the position, but he immediately proves me wrong, making it happen on the brakes against Eat My Dust. So the 33 will move up for his first spot of the night. Now up into the 6th place position. Eat My Dust finds himself under fire from Miller Lite and Prince Adam now. And we've got a crash reported. It's going to be Paper Bag in the number 8. Has some sort of incident. It looks like it's going to be into turn 10A. He's going to lose 3 spots here. Oh, the car just snaps loose. Slides right into the racing line. Very wisely took his time getting back on the throttle. And that helped us avoid a future incident, or a bigger incident, I should more aptly say. Now, tonight's event named the Hedge Trimmers Association Grand Prix. Inspired by a certain driver here at the J2ICS, bought a new car, and then immediately crashed into some hedges. Omega has problems. The lone Ford out on track. A self-spin. There's Broccoli sitting behind in the 66. Now let's go back up front. Dickinson starting to have Donovan close up behind. Donovan just set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:16.81. It kind of went back and forth throughout the practice sessions. It was either Dickinson, Donovan, or simply Steve, the top 3 drivers who were all running very, very quick throughout the week. And we've seen it time and time again where drivers, even at the end of one of these grueling hour-and-a-half endurance races, still find themselves within tenths of a second by the time it's all said and done. Now let's see, does Donovan gain time here down the backstretch? He's right in the draft of Dickinson, but not really able to close it up too much to make an attempt into 10A. Dickinson still holds a healthy margin here, charging up under the bridge and down into turn 12. Now we pan back to Eat My Dust, Miller Lite, Prince Adam. Still running nose to tail here in the 3-car battle for 7th. Now as they head up the hill into turn 2, this was a section talked about in the driver's meeting that says you might get a run here, but if you put yourself in a too-wide situation through the S's, it is more likely than not going to end poorly for all parties involved. You can see a big run there from Miller Lite right behind Eat My Dust. Charged out of turn 5, but Eat My Dust going to guard the inside line for turn 6 and 7. 7, such an important corner to get set up well, because it is going to dictate how much quarter speed you carry down the backstretch. As Miller Lite shows us how not to do it, has a big tail snap there. And while that's going on, Donovan, for the first time here tonight, has challenged Dickinson for the race lead. Donovan, the 128, the blue and gold into turn 12, is going to get credit for a lap led here. Donovan hopping the wheels on that Corvette through the curbing at Road Atlanta. The curbing's pretty tall here. So it's a fine line of getting just right, helping the car rotate, and not upsetting the balance too much. As Donovan has quickly put about 6-7 tenths on Dickinson. Now it's going to be interesting to see how the car setup is between the two of them. Can Donovan get a breakaway here? Or is Dickinson going to stay glued to the back of the 128 with the draft in the backstretch? We've got Derek joining us in the spectator area as well here this evening. He's enjoying some J2ICS Endurance Series racing. Now, I'm still surprised how tight things are with Eat My Dust, Miller Lite, Prince Adam. Urko, after he moved up into 6th, put about a 2-second gap on this pack. Let's see who's going to risk it here into 10A. Miller has a big run on the outside. That sets him up for 10B. Eat My Dust tries to go for a high and low with number 24. Can't quite make it happen. Prince Adam, the 777, looking for any opportunity he can here. Donovan stays up front here as your race leader. Oh, I just had a off-track report for Sean Dickinson. Looks like that might have been coming out of turn 7. Hopefully, the number 1, the defending champ, didn't get a slowdown penalty there, but that's going to allow Bozak, the 906, to close the gap up behind. Now, we did get the report as well that drivers will be running into the dark here at Road Atlanta. So around the 30-minute mark in the live timing tower, the top left side of your screen, we think the sun will be setting by then. Prince Adam making a lunge up for 8th. Eat My Dust tries to fire back, but Adam has a good run up here under the bridge. And I think, yes, he's going to be on the defensive into turn 12, able to hold on to that 8th place spot. That's Adam's 2nd spot gain. Adam with an off-track excursion will be dropping back to 9th here. Miller Lite, Eat My Dust, now 7th and 8th. And And it looks like Adam. Oh, who was that off track? That was Bob Nova taking the alternative line in the 605 Porsche. Long Island giving a little bit of flash in the headlights saying, hey, here I am. And oh, we've got problems. Prince Adam is around. Was there contact there? I wonder with Long Island Nerd. Let's get the replay queued up. Here's Adam, the 777. Head into turn 6. Oh, might have been netcode there with Adam and Sector, I believe is who that was. We're trying to see if there's any damage on the front of Sector's 95 machine. Sector, that driver we mentioned earlier that went into the hedges with a new car. The race named after him here tonight. Now, after last week, Dickinson, currently second, qualified pole here. He fell out of the top 3 in points. His teammate, Joshua Spears, came to the points lead tonight. But Donovan and Bozak here to upset the status quo as they run first and third. This could be a huge points night for them. Dickinson still under fire from that 906 of Bozak. Now we're expecting the fuel window to open up right around the 30-minute mark. It's going to close about the hour mark. Bozak doing what he can to close up. Joshua Spears has issues. The 84 looks like that's going to be out of turn 5, I believe. Yes, that's exactly where it was. So Spears, a big bobble there. Still able to hold on to 4th, but interesting that only just a little bit shy of 20 minutes into the race, we're starting to see drivers having more and more issues out there. Long Island Nerds starting to catch up to the back of Sector in the 95. Doesn't look like he's gaining a ton of ground here into 10A. The Long Island Nerd might have set himself up with a car that's a little bit faster in the tight sections here at Road Atlanta, willing to sacrifice a little bit of top end pace. I'm very interested to see if Bozak is going to be able to keep the pressure here on Dickinson. Dickinson, the number 1 machine, historically very quick. Oh, and we've got a crash report resulting in a tow. Broccoli Motorsports, the double 6, the 66, the fluorescent green. What just happened there? Tell if he got a little bit of a helping hand. Quite see if he got tagged there. Oh, that was a huge amount of netcode between the two. They're not even in the same zip code with the contact. That was Urko in the 33, and then Visible shoved to the 66 of Broccoli. That's going to be gutting for him. Unfortunately, back to pit road. Now, drivers do have 2 fast repairs. Those 2 get-out-of-jail-free cards. So hopefully Broccoli can get back out on circuit, join the rest of the fray here of the J2ICS Endurance Series, sponsored by Designers Home Gallery. Donovan out front, the 128 has built up a healthy 1 second gap. Dickinson still sitting in second, with Bozak trailing behind in third, about 3/4 of a second back. Urko and Miller Lite having a battle for sixth here. Urko, the Bong Life Motorsports back 33 machine, chased by Miller Lite, the number 9. Miller Lite being his name, not the title sponsor. Urko's Porsche looks like it has legs here. Builds up a little bit of a gap out of turn 7, maintains a 9/10 advantage into 10A. So the 33 Porsche ripping here at Road Atlanta. Bozak sitting in third, just set his fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 17 second .10 lap time. For a lot of these drivers, as the fuel load starts to decrease, they will get a little bit faster as the run progresses. Urko definitely looks like he set his car up for a little bit more straight line pace. Miller Lite seems to be a little bit more hooked up through the twisty bits here. Now Hard Charger out on track. That's going to be Garlic Dog, the 199. Piloting the Corvette, he's been able to grab 4 spots over the duration of this event, as he sits about a half second up over Biker Pilot, about 1 second back from Spring Flower, the number 93. And we have a pretty fierce battle going on here for 17th. Paper Bag Spook Dubs have swapped paint and positions through the 10A, 10B circuit of racetrack. As you can tell, the sun starting to set here at Road Atlanta. Slowly getting a little bit darker. Now we're checking back in on Donovan, your race leader. The 128. One of 2 Canadians out on track here. He qualified third, but definitely getting his groove on during the feature. We have another off-track reported. Prince Adam, the 777, looks like that's going to be a turn 1 incident with a big off-track here. Let's see what happened to Prince. Heads into turn 1. The car is not quite settled. Pushes wide through the grass. Thankfully for Prince Adam, no contact with the wall. Really didn't even touch the gravel that much here. A bit of a slowdown, but well worth it with a clean race car to brag about. Donovan rocking and rolling up here as your race leader. As I think that's Dickinson right behind, having to navigate a little bit of traffic. I believe that was Broccoli maybe going a lap down here. You've got two drivers not on the lead lap that I'm seeing. Yo Mega and Broccoli Motorsports. The two drivers that have went down a lap thus far. Urko and Miller Lite nose to tail, come up under the bridge into turn 12. Urko under fire here in the Bong Life Motorsports back 33 machine. Miller Lite really keeping the pressure up through the S's. Down the hill and getting ready to charge back up into turn 5. This is definitely where Miller Lite has seemed to be strongest so far, right on the bumper of Urko. But let's see if Urko gets the charge out of turn 7 that he's looking for. If he can put that straight line speed of the Porsche to work and keep Miller Lite at bay here. Looks like Miller Lite's in the draft. Can he close that 0.3 of a second disadvantage he has? It looks like he gains about a 1/10, but then lifts a little bit early going into 10A. Maybe didn't quite have the run he needed to make a lunge into turn 10A. And Urko stretches the gap a couple of more 1/10 of a second back in his favor. Now checking back in on Donovan. Looks like clean traffic relatively ahead for your race leader. As he's got a 1.2 second gap over Dickinson. Bozak still holding on to third. We've got about a little bit less than 2 minutes left to go before the pit window is open for these drivers. We've seen it before at Le Mans where the pit strategy can really play out well for some other drivers. And can kind of change up the standings a little bit on how people are supposed to finish. You don't want to be the butt of any jokes if you come down pit road at the wrong time. So definitely going to be some strategy at play for these guys. Had another off-track reported of Spring Flower. Luckily, no further incidents reported, so we're starting to see, once we hit that 15-minute mark, starting to see more and more drivers with a little bit of off-track excursions. Not boding well for the field if attrition is playing a factor less than 1/3 of the way through today's main event. Long Island Nerd starting to close up behind Sector. Drivers now being displayed the 30-minute board, 1/3 of the way through today's feature event. So we believe the pit window is officially open for these drivers. For those that are looking for an undercut, that fuel window is going to close right around the hour mark. Now we're fairly certain that most drivers are going to stretch that fuel run out a little bit here. That'll help minimize the time they spend on pit road taking fuel. That'll result in a lighter race car as well. Now, looks like a relatively cool track. Ambient temp about 70 degrees outside here at Road Atlanta. Track temp 81. Gonna be interesting to cool. It's gonna be interesting to see how the track cools as the sun continues to set here. I would imagine we're gonna spend about half the race in true darkness. You can see the headlights starting to work a little bit harder here as the sun's starting to crest behind the hill here at Brazelton. Our Charger out on track, still Biker Pod, the number 42 machine, up 4 positions. Now, panning back, Paperback and Spook Dubs haven't been able to get away from each other yet. Over 30 minutes of the race, and the past 2 or 3 laps, I believe they're actually the only drivers that have done any position changes here at all. Paperback's down 1 spot from where he qualified. Spook Dubs down 6 positions. A rough go to the endurance weekend. Also got to report Bob Nova made a pass against Long Islander. So that's going to put Bob Nova to 605, now up into the top 10. Let's see what happens here between Paperback and Spook Dubs as they draft each other down the back stretch. Long Islander, the 02, is going to be one of our first drivers, the first driver, I believe, down pit road for a green flag stop that was not necessitated due to damage. Oh, look at the big send from Spook Dubs on the break, the 58. Can he get clear of Paperback? Bag's going to look to the inside line in 12. It's going to be tight. Side by side we go on to the start-finish line. Paperback slides up ahead of Spook Dubs. And these 2 Porsche drivers putting on a show for 16th. So now Paperback gonna try and get that breakaway from Spook Dubs. The Long Island Nerd in and out of his pit stall. 21.6 seconds was the total time spent in his stall. He spent about 49 seconds from entry cones to exit cones. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the other drivers' pit times look like here tonight. And once again, the 2 closest drivers we have out on circuit, Paperback and Spook Dubs. That was Long Island Nerd. An alternative line through turn 2. Also, like Broccoli Motorsports had some sort of off-track excursion there as well. Let's see what's going to happen here. Spooked Up Saberbag once again side by side into 10A. Spooked Up's the red and black number 58. Paperbag the black and white number 8. And looks like Paperbag is going to come down pit road. Yes, he is. Spooked Up stays out. So this is some of that strategy at play that we were talking about. Some of these drivers, if they think they have the pace over the driver ahead of them, they might try and come down pit road a little bit earlier as long as they're confident they can make it to the end on fuel. And they'll try and get back out on circuit, look for some clean track. So remember, Long Islander was in a stall for 21.65 seconds. Let's see how long Paperbag is in there for. Well, it's going to be a longer stop. He is 24 seconds and counting, so it's a 25.3 second stop for Paperbag. He might be adding a little bit extra fuel here to make sure he's to the good before the checkered flag is out here. Not have been rocking and rolling here. Another off-track reported, though. It's Prince Adam out of turn 5. The attrition starting to play a factor for that 777 machine. Now he's got Biker Pod, our hard charge, the number 42 machine, starting to close in about 3/4 of a second back. Adam and Biker, though, have been very equally matched on pace here. But here at the Designers Home Gallery Endurance Series, it's all about minimizing the mistakes over the course of an hour-and-a-half long race. Now, these are all solo drivers. There are no teams at play here. So it might sound easy ripping a throttle in a sim for an hour-and-a-half, but you have to stay mentally dialed in for the entire time. These GTE cars do not award sloppy driving. They will spit you off the track rather quickly if you start to make mistakes. As Biker Pilot trying to close up behind, he's sitting 12th, up 5 spots, wants to gain his 6th spot here tonight. Dickinson and Bozak second and third place, both just set their fastest laps of the race. Dickinson a 1:16.88, Bozak a 1:16.96. Adam still holding just over, right around a 1 second gap on Biker Pilot. As he rips onto the start-finish line. Those Porsches do sound good here in the GTEs. We got Mr. Ray Aguilar joining us in the spectator area, an open wheel pro. Can't say I've ever seen Aguilar in a GT car, I don't believe, but good to see him coming out supporting the Wednesday night series. John Dickinson in second, just set the fastest lap of the race on 1:16.74. So as the fuel load continues to drop, some of these drivers able to find more and more time here. Now, we're fairly confident just about everybody's going to double stent their tires here. They're running start to finish on the same set, but interesting to see how much bodywork Dickinson is dragging here. You know, in a perfect world, as the fuel load decreased, that would ideally give him a little bit more ride height. But still scraping up the body panels of the Porsche. Right now, it's Corvette out front with Nodovan. Porsche in second with Dickinson. And then our lone Ford out on track. The 101 of Yo Mega currently sitting 19th. So out of 21 different entries, a large portion of the field piloting the Porsche RSRs. 5 drivers in the Corvette, and just one lonely Ford out on circuit. Dickinson seems to be in a bit of a groove here. Looks like he's catching up to Nodovan just slightly. He had that gap down to 3/4 of a second. Through the Estevas, Nodovan gains it back in his favor, now holding right at a 1 second margin over the second place driver. Ooh, look at the car snap loose from Dickinson up into 5. He's going to lose 3/4 tenths here. But what a big moment there. So Dickinson's going to have to get that momentum built back up to try and catch up to Nodovan. Here's Spring Flower and Garlic Dog, 13th and 14th. The 93 of Flower, the 199 of Garlic. And Nodovan, your race leader, answers with his fastest lap, making it the fastest lap of the race, a 116.69. So Nodovan and Dickinson starting to breathe on the throttle a little bit more here and pick up the pace before they come down pit road. Looks like the track temp staying pretty consistent, still around 81 degrees. We haven't really lost that much temperature in the air despite the sun setting here. Garlic tucked in behind Spring Flower. I think that was Flower flashing the high beams, maybe at some lap traffic. Not quite sure who that was at. Could also be drivers giving each other a little bit of a hello. Spring puts that advantage back to 3/4 of a second in his favor, coming out in the start-finish line. Garlic Dog trailing about 7 tenths behind up into turn 1. Joshua Spears sitting in 4th is going to come down pit road for his pit stop. So let's see how he does in the pit lane time. So not going to quite be able to use that nifty screen quite yet here. We're going to wait until a few more drivers come down pit road. That was Dickinson making his way around Garlic Dog, putting the 199 machine a lap down here. Joshua Spears in and out of his pit stall, 30.93 seconds. Only 3 drivers. Oh, something has happened. Spears is around. Right as he came out of the pit, just misses under the brakes. Prince Adam gives him a, hey, how's it going? And both drivers are going to have heavy damage from that one. Spears might have just watched a possible podium slip away from him here. Oh, that car is not square here. Spears is going to have to fight it all the way around the track to get back down pit road and use that fast repair. You can see the back end of the Porsche trying to snap around on him. Now we are past the halfway mark, so drivers being displayed the cross green and white flags. Here comes Spook Dubs, number 58. He is going to blow by Spears here. Almost a 40-mile-an-hour difference between the two. Prince Adam, the 777, he's down pit road. Looks like Sean Dickinson, the number 1, also down pit road. And we are confident Spears is going to have to limp it into his pit stall. Yep, here he comes. He's going to use a fast repair to try and get back out on track. Simply Steve, Urko linked up 4th and 5th. A little bit of lap traffic right ahead. I think that might be Long Island. The high beam's in full effect. Urko giving it right back to him. And beep, beep, here we go. Dickinson in and out of his pit stall, 22.45 seconds. A quite fast time there for the number 1. Long Island Nerd, he's out of his stall in 21.6 seconds. Prince Adam, I think, is going to have an extended stay here. 40 seconds and counting. Urko trying to catch up to the back of Simply Steve. Donovan still your race leader. Bozak in second. Simply Steve in third as we are partially through the required fuel stops here tonight. What happened here? There we go. Okay, so Simply Steve's going to come down pit road, the number 23. That's going to put Urko up into third. Your top 4 drivers have yet to pit here. Dickinson sitting in 5th. The only driver inside the top 10 who has come down pit road so far. Now again, Dickinson in and out of his pit stall, 22.45 seconds. Let's see what Simply Steve, the number 23, can do here. Simply Steve looking for faster, and he's going to be able to do it. A 20.75 second pit stop time. So Simply Steve might be able to make a good result happen here based on pit strategy. Quite dark here at Road Atlanta. 9 drivers on the lead lap. Rockley Motorsports takes an alternative line through 10A and 10B. And looks like he's going to take that opportunity to come down pit road. And grab it on board here with Donovan. That's going to be traffic ahead of him, I believe, in the likes of Biker Pilot, maybe just ahead. The Corvette looking like a spacecraft inside that cockpit. The drivers have had about 50 minutes to get their marks dialed in the daytime, as it is properly dark here tonight. Dickinson has made his way around Miller Lite. That's to put the number 1 machine up into 4th. Biker Pilots down pit road and the number 42. Your top 3 drivers, though, Donovan, Bozak, Urko, have yet to pit here. I'm very curious to see where these drivers in the top 5, the top 10 are going to be at once the pit cycle is completed. Miller Lite, he's down pit road. Donovan, Bozak, Urko, your top 3 still out on their original tanks of fuel. We're fairly confident the fuel window is going to close right around that hour mark. And we had another incident reported. Spook Dubs, a bit of an off track there through 10A, 10B. Able to collect himself, no worries. Spring Flower also down pit road, the number 93 machine. But still a large portion of the field is yet to pit. Donovan, Bozak, Urko, Eat My Dust, Sector, Bob Nova, Garlic Dog, Cat Daddy, Spook Dubs have all yet to come down pit road, as well as Yomega, the lone Ford pilot in the 101. So when is Nottingham going to come down pit road? It looks like a whole lot of traffic ahead of him here. This may be a good opportunity to pit rather than put himself in the vortex of danger. And my goodness, how's that for good timing? That was Paper Bag, and I'm trying to see who else who just absolutely obliterated themselves. Was that Spring Flower, I wonder? I think it might have been. Get ready for some violence, kids. Spring Flower comes out of pit road. Paper Bag gets into him. One more time, because this is spectacular. So there's Paper Bag. Rolls out of pit road, minding the blend line. Paper Bag tags him. And your race leader, Donovan, says a couple of Hail Marys and slides on through. Let's do one more replay because I'm having a great time here. So let's go on board with Donovan. Your race leader, so watch this. Paper Bag's on the right side of your screen, coming out of pit road, excuse me, Spring Flower. Paper Bag hits him, and then you just see headlights pirouetting across the track here. And Donovan, thankfully that the seas have parted ahead of him. So Donovan very, very thankful to wiggle on through in the 128. Urko sitting in third, the 33 machine. He's going to come down pit road for his first pit stop. Should be only pit stop of the evening. Spring Flower's also going to limp it back down pit road for another stop, I believe. Paper Bag's been in his stall for about 2 minutes here after he hit the tow button. That's going to put Dickinson back up into the third place spot, about 44 and a half seconds back from Nodovan. How long is Nodovan going to stay out for? I thought he was going to come down pit road with all the traffic ahead of him, but then we had what we're going to call lovingly the incident, and he suddenly found himself with some clean track ahead of him. So as it stands, Nodovan and Bozak, first and second, have yet to pit. We're keeping an eye out on Dickinson in third. He came down pit road on lap 36. Eat my dust in fourth. He's down pit road. Sector holding on to a top 5. He is also yet to pit here. And it is properly dark here at Road Atlanta. The sun is fully set here in Brazelton. And there is little to no track lighting here at the Georgia Raceway. So drivers having to rely entirely on headlights. Bozak sitting in second. He's down pit road. But we're fairly confident once Bozak is finished with his pit cycle that Dickinson should be sitting in second, I believe. But when and how is Nodovan going to plan out this pit strategy? He's still holding a 45-second over Dickinson, who has moved up into the second place position. Looks like Bozak's going to hold on to third, the final podium spot. Sector, the number 95, one of our hard chargers, he's down pit road. So that's going to leave just four drivers out on circuit who have yet to pit. Nodovan, your race leader. Garlic Dog and Cat Daddy, 8th and 9th. And Yo Mega, the 101, all have yet to pit here. Garlic Dog, he's going to come down pit road. Cat Daddy stays out. Sector in and out of his pit stall, 22.08 seconds, and he's going to make his way back out on track. I think after the incident, I think drivers are going to be very mindful of that blend line coming out of pit road now. As here's Simply Steve and Urko having a battle for fourth. Urko ahead by 0.4 of a second. Simply Steve trying to catch the draft off that 33 machine. Nodovan, your race leader, down pit road for his first and should be only stop of the evening. He was about 46 seconds up over Dickinson before this pit cycle. Let's see how this is going to maybe shake things up front. Nodovan looking to be faster than 22.45 seconds in his pit stall. Drivers only taking fuel in the GTEs for this event. We don't believe anybody's going to take tires. Nodovan rolls out 20.28 seconds, just about 2 seconds faster than Dickinson in the pit lane. Waiting for live timing to catch up. What's the gap gonna be? Looks to be about a 6-second advantage. Donovan still holds here. 6.6 second advantage over Dickinson. So right now it's still Donovan, Dickinson, Bozak. 1, 2, 3 at Road Atlanta. About 38 seconds back from the podium. You've got Urko and Simply Steve still doing battle here. Simply Steve starting to finally find time on Wednesday nights to run a few more races with us. And having a great time battling with some old friends. And I'm not quite sure what happened. Dickinson is back down pit road. Is it a drive-through? What's happening here? I can't imagine he was going to be short on fuel. Let's see if he hits his pit stall or drives through. No, Dickinson's going to be short on fuel. He has to stop for a second time. Was it a stop and go? I've got so many questions here. But now Dickinson's fallen out of grace, no longer in the second place position. Showing third. Bozak moves up into second place behind his teammate, Donovan. Hopefully, Penny Dickinson, she's normally in the spectator area, can tell us what on earth just happened for Sean there. What an upset for Sean Dickinson. Urko and Simply Steve still having their battle here for fourth, separated by about 0.2 of a second. Out of turn 7, down the backstretch here at Road Atlanta. Simply Steve trying to get lined up for a move here. So Penny letting us know that Sean had a little bit of an incident with the wall. But I wonder, I'm thinking that might have resulted in Dickinson having to use a fast repair. Simply Steve has made the pass against Urko here. Moving that 23 machine up into fourth. Urko bumped back to fifth. Hard Charger out on track. Still Biker Pod. Number 42. Where did Steve go? Steve way off track through turn 1. Keeps it off the wall, so Urko will be back up into fourth. I was trying to say Biker Pilot, our Hard Charger, the 42. Biker up 6 positions, has made his way all the way up to 11th. So Penny back in at Donovan. He's got a little bit of lap traffic ahead of him here. Donovan's going to be, I think, after that incident that we saw earlier, I think Donovan's going to be very timid when it comes to navigating traffic here. Donovan holding about a 11-second gap over Bozak. Does not need to put himself in any precarious positions. He's got 25 minutes left to go here before he can possibly secure a big win here. We're definitely, nothing's ever done until it's over, especially here at the J2ICS. We've seen some pretty wild endurance races before, and Season 9 has been no different. Now, I will say, if Donovan can make it happen here tonight, he'll be the only driver who has made it back-to-back so far this season. And that would put Donovan up into the points lead as well. Spears 1 point ahead of Donovan coming into tonight. Now, we had another incident reported, and it was once again ahead of your race leader, Donovan. It was Miller Lite, who I believe found himself lawn darted into the wall here. Let's see what happened to the number 9 Corvette. Goes out of turn 5, pushes a little bit wide, and right into the tire barriers. You see the headlights failing there as he backs off the track. And that's exactly what Donovan has to be mindful of. Spears makes a pass against Bob Nova. As things get a little bit tight, there's traffic mixed in everywhere here. About a half second back. Let's check back in on Donovan, your race leader here. The 128, looking at the track map, the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. He's got 7th place sector ahead of him. That would be the next driver that goes down a lap. But I'm showing only 3 drivers on the lead lap at this point. Let's see, there's Donovan through turn 1. I saw somebody rolling out of pit road. I think that was Miller Lite. Tentatively getting back out on track. I think everybody's trying to give everybody some space here in the dark at Road Atlanta, as we've got just about 20 minutes left to go. Right now, your top 3, Donovan, Bozak, Dickinson, 1, 2, 3. Urko and Simply Steve right out the top 5. As I don't see anybody out on circuit within a second of each other. I see a couple of drivers within a second and a half. That is Simply Steve in 5th, Urko in 4th. And it looks like Simply Steve gaining some ground here. Wonder if Urko made a little bit of a bobble after that comment. Steve was able to gain about 7, 8 tenths against the 33. 20 minutes left to go here. The Designers Home Gallery Endurance Series here at the J2ICS. Simply Steve starting to close up to Urko's. It is quite dark here, Road Atlanta. Simply Steve closing the gap up to Urko within a half second as they dive through turn 6 and 7. Urko historically tonight has had great straight line speed. And it looks like both drivers are going to try and use lap traffic ahead, pick up a little bit extra draft here. Steve seems to be closing up ever so slightly. 100th of a second here, 100th of a second there. Oh, Steve has a big run out of turn 10B. Underneath the bridge, gained about 2 tenths there. Oh, here we go. He's within 3.5 tenths now of Urko. The battle for fourth. These are our two closest drivers out on circuit. Both drivers really using the curbs here. You can see the very limited lights provided by Road Atlanta for this event. But man, does it look cool when the drivers are scraping bodywork through turn 5, kicking off some sparks for the fans at Spectator Hill. Now Steve might be in striking position here. If he can get a good run out of 7, he's 3 tenths off the back of Urko. Is he going to pull out of line after using the draft, or is he going to wait another lap here to really set himself up well? He's 2 tenths back, cresting the hill into 10A. I don't think he's going to make a go for it here. Content following Urko for a little while longer. But Steve definitely showing that he's got the pace to challenge that 33 machine. Improving on what could be a top 5 result here with Simply Steve's return. Lap traffic hopping out of the way for these two battling for position. On board Simply Steve, the Porsche RSR number 23 machine. Giving you a good idea of just how dark it is as Steve has a great run out of turn 5. That's going to put him 2 tenths of a second off the back of Urko, so I think he's going to try and follow along here through 6 and 7. Try and get a massive run out of 7 and set himself up for a draft pass. This might be the lap Steve goes for it here. Looks like Urko got out of 7 just a little bit cleaner. Had about a 4/10 advantage come out in the backstretch, so I think once again Steve's not going to be able to get a real good run going. And Urko will live to hold that 4th place spot a little while longer. Now up in second, Bozak just set his personal fastest lap of the race, a 1:16.94. So Bozak, the 906, really carrying a good pace here, feeling comfortable in the tail end of today's main event. So let's see. Steve has been hunting and pecking for an opportunity here. Three-tenths of a second separating the two. Steve is doing everything he can to get a run built up here. And just no luck with it. Not able to wiggle it around Urko. Try as he might. Now, we also got to report Long Islander at the O2. He's come down pit road. Trying to see, this might be his second stop of the evening. No, it's a drive-through for Long Islander. Long Islander, the O2 machine, having to serve a drive-through penalty. Is Steve gonna have the opportunity here? Oh, he's trying to carry as much speed as he could through turn 7. You saw the back end of the 23 machine really stepping out. Somehow not losing much time here. He's within 0.2 of a second. This might be it. This could be the opportunity Steve was looking for. Within a 1/10 and a half, 1/10 off the back of Urko. Takes a peek to the inside line, doesn't quite commit to it. But time is running out if Steve wants to grab that 4th place position. Broccoli Motorsports, he's down pit road. Let's see if it's a pit stop or a drive-through penalty for the number 66 machine. And it is going to be a pit stop for Broccoli. Maybe grabbing a little bit extra fuel to make it till the end. We've got 12 minutes left to go in tonight's feature event, the J2ICS Designers Home Gallery Endurance Series. Urko and Simply Steve, the two closest drivers we have out on track, separated by about 0.3 of a second. Garlic Dog, a fan favorite, the 199, he's down pit road. This has got to be frustrating for Simply Steve. He's doing everything he can to try and get set up for a draft pass against Urko. Just not quite able to get the momentum he needs to really put himself ahead of the 33. But holding on to him right behind, a 1/4 of a second off the back. Now, also impressive to note, out of 20 drivers that started the race, still have 19 out on track here. And here we go, the battle's underway. Simply Steve trying something against Urko. A beautiful pass into turn 6, an unexpected place, I would think, to make a move. Had the run out of 5, was able to do something with it. And now he is going to hammer the throttle of that 23 machine to prevent Urko from drafting back up and around. Urko's had great top-end pace all night long here. And he is quickly closing the gap to the 23 machine. So now it's going to be interesting with just a few laps left to go. Can Urko repay the favor to the 23? Both drivers are up 2 spots from where they qualified. Unless there's catastrophe amongst the top 3, a podium is going to be out of reach for these guys. But they are here to put on a show for the fans at Road Atlanta and for those of you at home. Garlic Dog down pit road for a 3rd time, having some sort of issues. Simply Steve's built up about a 3/4 of a second gap over Urko. We're about to see how much power Urko has under the hood of the 33. Now, these are spec cars everybody's in tonight. So as far as horsepower goes, everybody's the same, but it is open setup. So some drivers are going to set up for top end pace. Some drivers are going to try and dial the car in for the twisty bits of corners here at Road Atlanta. Have another battle forming up. Spook Dubs and Prince Adam in the fray here for 13th. Oh, it's going to be a big send against traffic, I think. Adam does not want Spook Dubs to get a breakaway, but Adam's going to go a little bit off track. Was that Adam? Yes, it was. How was he able to hold on to it? So a huge moment for Prince Adam, able to collect himself through 10A and 10B. As just ahead of him. Oh, I heard something. I think it was Eat My Dust that was just ahead of Prince Adam. I thought that was going to be a worse moment than it was. Who was that? I wonder. Just ahead. I couldn't tell if that was Nodovan or Bozak just ahead of that incident. I think that might have been Nodovan. The Nodovan squarely in the vortex of danger here, surrounded by lap traffic everywhere you look. We got somebody off. That's Broccoli off into 10A. Thankfully, no exciting rejoins on that one. Donovan's just hoping for some clean track ahead of him. Simply Steve running fourth, still being chased by Urko. Prince Adam and Broccoli both back down pit road. Looks like Prince Adam was serving a drive-through penalty on that one. Did not come into his pit stall. Broccoli Motorsports doing the same, also serving a drive-through penalty. And here's Joshua Spears being chased by Sector, the number 95 machine. The battle for 7th. Also see a battle. Miller Lite, Prince Adam here. Gonna go side by side for 14th. Down into the braking zone at 10A. Both drivers hard on the binders there. Looks like it's gonna be Adam getting a little bit better drive out of 10B. Miller Lite got a little bit loose there, but able to hold on to it. And not too far ahead of that battle is Long Island Nerd and Spook Dubs. Five minutes left to go here. The Designers Home Gallery Endurance Series here at the J2ICS. And the gloves are off. You've got Simply Steve and Urko battling for 4th. Long Island Nerd Spook Dubs battling for 12th. And then Prince Adam and Miller Lite currently in a fight for 14th here. Spook Dubs pulls up alongside Long Island, that battle for 12th. Spook Dubs, the red number 58. Long Island, the multicolored O2 machine. If you're not sure or can't see which car is which, just trust me. Long Islander, a very alternative line there for 10A. Slams on the brakes with his slowdown penalty. Oh no, Eat My Dust is going to come back down pit road, the number 24. Prince Adam Miller Lite still going at it here for 14th. Now, we had a great report, and thank you for that. So, Prince Adam and Miller Lite battling for 14th. Dickinson sitting in third is stuck watching this battle. Does not want to interject himself in the party, put himself or the car in danger. But I think Dickinson's going to click it in cruise control here. He's not going to be able to gain much at all by trying to navigate this battle, this frantic battle for 14th. I think Dickinson's just going to follow along here and try and keep his nose clean. Let's see who opts to send it in the braking zone into 10A. 3 minutes left to go. You're watching Prince Adam and Miller Lite. A very busy battle. Adam holds on to the 14th place position under the brakes. Miller Lite follows him up the hill under the bridge. Joshua Spears, he's our third overall driver. Just kind of sitting behind these guys watching the show. As it looks like Miller Lite hops out of the way for Dickinson. Hopefully I said Dickinson in third. I might have said Spears there by mistake. But Miller Lite opted to quickly hop out of the way. I didn't see a slowdown or anything for Miller Lite, so I think that was just letting traffic by. But Dickinson will take it however he can get it here. 2 minutes left to go. Simply Steve and Urko, the two closest drivers out on track, separated by a quarter of a second, have not been able to break away from each other for the last 30 minutes of today's feature event. So I can't quite tell, but I think Donovan will take the white flag next time by. Urko seemed to back up 6 and 7 a little bit, maybe trying to focus on his drive down to the backstretch. But Simply Steve has traffic ahead that might allow him to use the draft. That may actually be Bozak, I think. No, that was Donovan. Rockley Motorsports goes off track. Simply Steve holding on to it. Urko has a big lunge. Not going to be able to do anything into turn 1. And just behind them, that's Donovan coming down the hill in turn 12. Looks like he's going to take the white flag here. And Donovan will lead the field by one more time here at Road Atlanta. He currently holds about a 10-second gap over his teammate Bozak. A 25-second gap over Dickinson in third. And then Simply Steve and Urko, 4th and 5th, going to try and duke things out and decide what the top 5 is going to look like at the end of this thing. Now, are we going to see a big send here from Urko? Looks like he backs out of it just a little bit. Maybe trying to force Simply Steve into a mistake. Urko had a great run at the start-finish line the last time by. Let's see if he tries something into turn 1 here. He pulls up alongside or off the quarter panel of Steve. Doesn't have the run he was quite looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Your race winner here tonight at Road Atlanta, Donovan, makes it back-to-back here. the Designers Home Gallery Endurance Series. Bozak, Notovan's teammate, will finish second. And Dickinson will round out the top three. Now we're going to keep the camera pointed right here between Simply Steve and Urko. They're on their final lap here to decide the fourth place position. Oh, there's a little bit of mind games going on here. Urko flashing the high beams against Steve, trying to force a mistake. Urko's gonna have one final shot of it here. But hey, tip of the hat, Simply Steve able to hold on to that fourth place position. And all in all, what a great race here at Orlando. These guys put on a good show. Notovan enjoying the cool down celebrations. And he's going to burn it down here at Road Atlanta. His teammate Bozak also there to aid in the celebrations. We've got Dickinson has made his way to the podium room. Still waiting on Notovan and Bozak. They seem a little bit busy with their shenanigans. So we're going to get things started here with Mr. Sean Dickinson. Join us, the number one machine. Sean, a great race all the way around. I know not quite the result you were looking for with a little bit of a mishap, but still all in all a good points night for you in that number one.
Yeah, I'm just glad I was able to finish and not have an internet drop issue. But I feel like I did as good as I could in the car I was driving. So
yeah,
overall,
Le Mans was gutting for us to watch. That big dropout, not really able to get back out on track in time to salvage anything. Did you figure out what that was? Was it a random storm? What led to that bad luck?
just a random internet issue. I don't know. I had a couple issues the next day, but it just that day wasn't great.
Well, Sean, seemed like things definitely turned around for you here tonight. A good run for the number one machine. What's the plans for the rest of the season to try and crawl back at that gap that your teammate Joshua Spears and Notovan have after the last couple of rounds?
Take advantage of the tracks that the car is fast at. I'm not a fan of Spa. I hate Spa. So I'm just hoping to finish in the same spot next week or in 2 weeks. But after that, we got a round of a few good tracks where I think I'll be able to have a fast car at.
Well, awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I know the fans are as well. Sean, before I let you go and unwind from this one, who do you want to give a shout to that helps make it happen here tonight?
Yeah, always got to give a shout out to SimCity Racing. Helped me keep racing, keep my setups good and all that. And then Josh for all the help. We spent hours and hours trying to build this setup to be able to make the Porsche work at Road Atlanta. So it's a hard track for this car, and we saw it there.
Well,
unfortunately, hit the wall.
Well, it happens to the best of us. Sean, always a pleasure, bud. Good to have you back up here, and wishing you the best of luck at the next one.
Thank you, and thanks for streaming it.
Yes, sir. Glad to.
All right. See you.
That was Sean Dickinson bringing it home. And third, up next, we've got Mr. Bozak join us to second place in the 906. A 1-2 finish for you and the team tonight, Bozak. Have to be ecstatic with how these Corvettes were performing.
Yeah, I am. I'm glad they did. And
Yeah.
all we had to do was just keep it together, and then the car treated us well.
Now, I was going to ask, it seems simpler said than done. You said just keep it together, but attrition was definitely a factor for a lot of drivers. How tough was it to minimize the mistakes over that hour-and-a-half race tonight?
Oh, it's a bit tough, especially with Road Atlanta. Road Atlanta is a very tricky track because it's very easy to lose where your marker is, where your brake marker is, and lose where your apex is. So, I you can easily lose focus if you don't keep yourself straight. If I can word that right.
Well, hey man, it seemed like it worked out really well for you. Now, during that race, what developments were you and Donovan communicating? Was there any stray changes in strategy, or was it you guys had a plan and stuck to it the whole time?
Oh, we stuck to our plan and just driving, but that was all we could really do. We just had to keep up our pace, and eventually, we it worked out because we were saving tires too, and none of it was saving a crap ton of fuel too. So that worked on his end too.
Well, it looked like it worked out very well for you guys. A great race, a great result. Before I let you go and unwind from this one, Bozak, who do you want to give a shout to that helps put you up into this second place position?
Well, absolutely, my teammate. We kept each other straight, especially mentally. This track was tough with traffic, and yeah, thanks for hosting this race, and thanks for commentating on this race. It was great. It was great fun.
Awesome. I couldn't do it without you guys. Bozak, always a pleasure, bud, and hopefully we'll have you back up here next week.
Yeah, we'll see. I look forward to it.
Thank you, sir. That was Bozak joining us in second. Up next, we've got Mr. Nodovan joining us here tonight. The 128 Nodovan, a dominant run. Seemed like once you're able to pick through traffic, it was just wide open. But man, walk me through a couple of the close calls you had here tonight.
Yeah, so just to start, I knew it was going to be a like whoever was in the lead, you control a race. So I was like I knew if he remained in the lead, I would have had to chew through my tires to try to keep up with him. So it was really important to get in front of him. And then once I did, I kept pushing until I got like a 1.5 gap, and then I kind of started saving my stuff a little bit. And then obviously he had some issues. So near the end of the race, it was just kind of trying to pick your way through traffic and not die.
Now, did you even notice the incident on pit road or the exit of pit road? I think it was Paperbag and one other driver. You were almost collected there, and I mean, just pure luck. It looked like the track opened up ahead of you, and luckily the crash drivers were off to your right.
Yeah, I watched it happen, and I knew because I saw whoever it was, I saw him kind of going towards the pit exit, and I was like, oh no, there's a car there, and then so I tried to I think I probably hit the brake. I slowed down a bit just in case they went the wrong direction, but that was definitely a little scary there.
Now, not even navigating all the lap traffic here, Orlando. Drivers are warned about it on where they should attempt passes, where they shouldn't. Do you feel like navigating traffic was easier in the full dark conditions where they would see your headlights coming from way back, or was there no difference in getting through?
I don't think there was a difference, to be honest. I think a bigger difference was just the fact that I had time to lose. Like I wasn't pushing near as much. If I had to wait an extra lap to get by, I wouldn't have cared. But it was just more as if I think in the dark we had a little bit more lap battles. Like I know uh, Prince Adam and someone else they were battling, and then they kind of got together, and then Adam almost tagged me, so that was really fun. But overall, it was just kind of trying to survive, especially in the last 15 or so minutes.
Well, definitely made it happen. A 1-2 finish with you and Bozak, a great result. And I believe this is going to put you in the points lead. But now, Donovan, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped make it happen for you here at Road Atlanta?
So it's going to be Bozak. He's the one who made this killer setup. It's not often you can make a 0.5 wing work at a high downforce track like this.
Well, very well said, Donovan. Always a pleasure, bud. The first driver to make it back-to-back this season, the Endurance, and hopefully we see that streak continue for the U and the 128.
And I'm looking forward to Spa.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Donovan.
Thank you.
That was your first place finisher, Donovan, bringing home the win here at Road Atlanta. He was accompanied by Bozak in second, and Mr. Sean Dickinson rounding out the top 3. On behalf of Team Goon Squad, Designers Home Gallery, and J2ICS, my name has been James East. Thank you all so much for spending your Wednesday night with us, and we'll see you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.